Hello everybody, my name is Rachel and welcome to my channel Colonati. This is my third anticipated releases video for this year. There are two previous parts of books that are already out now. If you're curious about those, I will try to remember to link them. But basically, this is going to focus on July, August, and September. I've narrowed it down to 9 books. Most of them are in July. What is it with July and releases? And I have one from September. I'm trying to be a little bit more selective about what I put in these videos, so I'm trying to focus on the ones that I know for sure I am either going to buy and read or definitely get from the library in some way. So there are quite a few other books that I've actually taken off of this list, but I will probably list some of them down in the description down below. They just didn't quite make the cut for most exciting, most anticipated. With that, let's get into it. The first book on my list, coming out on July 3rd, is The Calculating Stars by Robinette Kowal. This is the first in a duology. The second book is also on this list, so I'll talk about that in a moment. But this is set in the same world as Kowal's Hugo Award-winning novelette, The Lady Astronaut of Mars, which I did read a couple of years ago. I think that the main character of this, Elma York, is actually the Lady Astronaut of the novelette. But this is what happened in her career. In the novelette, she's looking back on her past and what she achieved and everything. This sounds like it's the story of what she actually did. So I have this copy. I'm going to read the description on the back of it because why not? On a cold spring night in 1952, a huge meteorite fell to Earth and obliterated much of the east coast of the United States, including Washington, D.C. The ensuing climate cataclysm will soon render Earth inhospitable for humanity, as the last such meteorite did for the dinosaurs. This looming threat calls for a radically accelerated effort to colonize space and requires a much larger share of humanity to take part in the process. Elma York's experience as a WASP pilot and mathematician earns her a place in the International Aerospace Coalition's attempts to put man on the moon as a computer. But with so many skilled and experienced women pilots and scientists involved with the program, it doesn't take long before Elma begins to wonder why they can't go into space too. Elma's drive to become the first lady astronaut is so strong that even the most dearly held conventions of society may not stand a chance against her. So down with those pesky gender barriers, basically. This sounds fantastic. I'm getting pretty strong Hidden Figures vibes from this, also in the way that they've designed the cover, to be honest, and I'm really excited for this. I first heard about it about 2 years ago when I heard Kowal talk at a panel about her upcoming projects, and she mentioned she was working on some science fiction, and I've been so excited since then. Coming out on July 17th is another probably delightful book from Gail Carriger, which is Competence. This is the third book in the Custard Protocol series, which kind of follows the second generation, the children of characters from the Parasol Protectorate. The first 2 books in this series were following Prudence, who is the daughter of Alexia and Macon from Solus. Now this third one, though, seems to be about Primrose, who is Ivy Dunstall's, or whatever her original maiden name was, her daughter, so you know she has hats and questionable fashion taste. Anyway, I didn't realize this one was about Prim rather than Prudence, and that sounds pretty interesting. The very short description says, all alone in Singapore, proper Miss Primrose Tunstall must steal helium to save her airship, the Spotted Custard, in a scheme involving a lovesick werecat and a fake fishtail. When she uncovers rumors of a new kind of vampire, Prim and the Custard crew embark on a mission to Peru. That just, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, a fake fishtail, but I'm pretty excited about the settings in Singapore, Peru. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Next up is Apocalypse Nyx by Cameron Hurley, also coming out on July 17th, though I think that the ebook version of this is already out. I've been waiting for the print version, so I'm counting this as the publication date. This is a collection of 5 short stories about Nyx from the Beldam Apocryphus series, which begins with God's War. I read the trilogy years ago, really enjoyed them. Nyx is a very complicated sometimes very unlikable character. She's a bounty hunter, and I had no idea that Hurley had written anything else set in this world. So this whole collection came as a complete surprise to me when it was announced, and you know I will be getting my hands on it. Coming out on July 24th is a debut novel from Rich Larson called Annex. Rich Larson is one of my favorite short fiction writers. He's really made a name for himself with short stories in the past couple of years, and I was very excited to hear that he has a novel coming out. I'm not exactly sure if this is YA or adult. It sounds like science fiction. I don't really care. I've just enjoyed his writing and storytelling so much that I'm going to give this one a chance. I only found a very, very short description of it, which is it tells the story of two young outsiders who must find a way to fight back against the aliens who have taken over their city, which doesn't really say that much about it, but I'll take it. And lastly, in July on the 26th is Record of a Spaceborn Few by Becky Chambers. You know I've had this one pre-ordered for a really long time. This is Chambers' third novel in the Wayfarers universe that started with The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which I loved. I liked the follow-up kind of companion novel, A Closed and Common Orbit, a lot too. This one sounds like it might return to some of the ideas and settings and stuff mentioned in The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which I'm most eager to really get back to, though frankly I've forgotten a lot. So I'm just gonna read this description. Centuries after the last humans left Earth, the Exodus fleet is a living relic, a place many are from but few outsiders have seen. Humanity has finally been accepted into the galactic community, but while this has opened doors for many, those who have not yet left for alien cities fear that their carefully cultivated way of life is under threat. I don't remember that much about the Exodus fleet or Exodents or anything like that, but I know I'm gonna like it a lot. And I've already heard from people who've read advanced copies of the book that it's really good. So fingers crossed, I'll really love it. Moving on to August now, my first anticipated release from this month is Early Riser by Jasper Fforde, which is coming out in the UK at least on August 2nd. I think it has a slightly different US publication date, but let's be honest, I will probably just buy it from Book Depository no matter what at some point. This is his first adult novel in quite a few years, I think. He's had quite a break when he was very prolific before, and I haven't heard that much about the book. Pretty much all this description says is, in this world, the human population hibernates for 4 months every winter, and then there's an outbreak of viral dreams that starts killing people. I don't really need to know more about it than that. I think that's a really cool premise. I want to know why people hibernate and how dreams can kill you and all of that. So I'm going to come at this as like a standalone science fiction novel, and hopefully it will also have some of that kind of whimsical, crazy literature humor that I've loved from Fforde's other books like the Thursday Next series. We will see. On August 7th, there is Rogue Protocol by Martha Wells, which is the third novella in the Murderbot Diaries. I love Murderbot. I don't think I need to say anything more than that. I'm going to skip any synopsis for fear of kind of spoiling the first two novellas, but I wholeheartedly loved the first two, and I can't wait for more Murderbot crabby adventures. Next up is that second book in Mary Robinette Kowal's duology, which is The Fated Sky. This is coming out on August 21st, and the very short description says, continuing the grand sweep of alternate history laid out in The Calculating Stars, The Fated Sky looks forward to 1961 when mankind is well established on the moon and looking forward to its next step, journeying to and eventually colonizing Mars. So it sounds like The Calculating Stars is going to be mankind's jump to the moon, and then The Fated Sky will be our leap to Mars. And last, but definitely not least, is State Tectonics by Malka, which comes out on September 11th. This is what sounds like the very explosive conclusion to the Sentinel cycle. This started with Infomocracy and Null States, and the whole series is about a system of microdemocracy where you don't really have massive countries. You have like sentinels of 100,000 voters, and then you have a super majority election like every 5 years for like a worldwide government. In the first story, Infomocracy, the worldwide election, the supermajority went a little bit badly. And in state Tectonics, they're due for their next supermajority election after 5 years. And it sounds like the people who work for information, kind of the big Google information archive of the world running everything, are starting to doubt whether they should be working for this behemoth, whether it's the right thing for the world, and they might just like burn everything down and start over fresh, which is not the direction I thought this end was going towards, but I'll take it. It sounds, like I said, explosive and exciting. And I think Malka Older is one of the few authors who actually makes the nitty-gritty of politics and democracy really interesting for me to read. I love the way that these have all been written, and I bet that this last one is going to be just as good as the previous two. And those are my 9 most anticipated book releases of July, August, and September of 2018. I'm sure I probably missed something that I'm going to really love, but like I said, I was trying to keep this list a bit shorter. So let me know if you were also looking forward to any of these, maybe some that I haven't mentioned that you are really looking forward to. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon, and until then, bye.